The Slut Life podcast is brought to you by Slut Life brand. Slut Life is a clothing and lifestyle brand that firmly believes in empowering the sluttier side of yourself. As a thank you to our listeners, Slut Life is offering 50% off any one item on their online store at www.slutlifebrand.com. Use code SLUTPOD50 at checkout to receive 50% off any one item. That's code SLUTPOD50, SLUTPOD50 at checkout to receive 50% off any one item at www.slutlifebrand.com.
Be loud. Be proud. Be a slut.
Hi, sluts!
Hey, sluts!
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Hi, sluts! I missed you.
Yes.
Yes.
We have not had a cherry the last 2 episodes.
Yes.
So,
I've been working in my little world.
what's new?
We bought a house. Well, not we
Hell
did.
yeah.
Ophelia bought some property we're going to be able to move into, and in Concord, that's going to be
gonna
very
be
exciting.
closer.
Yeah, much
Yeah.
closer to y'all, and get out of fucking Charlotte where everybody and their grandma is, you know?
Yeah.
It's so fucking concentrated. I'm so over it.
So loud.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Very much. Very much.
So I have news since I've seen you.
Yes. What's the news?
I've scissored for the first time.
Oh my goodness. Congratulations.
Thanks.
How was it?
It was fucking magical. Oh my fucking God. Like, I just was like, "Yeah, you want a scissor?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing." And she's like, "I don't know what I'm doing either." And then our pussies touched and we were like, "Oh,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's what we're doing."
That's electric.
Yeah. Yeah. It was beautiful.
Chef's kiss. I love.
Yes. I think I have earned my lesbian card now.
Yes. I'm so proud
Yes.
of you.
So we have a very special guest with us this podcast. We have Regina Prescott from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Hi.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself.
Oh my God. It's your favorite final girl from Winston-Salem.
Yes.
So my whole thing is just being as slutty as possible and having a good time.
Yes. Now you do drag in Winston, right?
I do. I've been doing drag for 2 whole months. So I'm still a baby queen. Not that you could tell. I'm just so gorgeous.
You
Yes,
are
you are.
gorgeous.
100%. I was going to say something about it, but you beat me to it. So.
Thanks. I've only been doing
You can still
it.
tell her.
Yeah. You're so pretty.
Thank you so much. Yeah, but I've been doing drag since 2018. I started in my dorm room in college. And thank God that footage got burned.
Oh,
God bless her. She was trying her fucking best.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it was not very good. But I restarted back in July. And so I'm relaunching as Regina.
Yes. You
Yes.
got to do ooh, help me words. It used to be Sophie.
Oh, Fina.
Fina,
5000.
thank you.
Yeah.
You got to do Fina's baby dollhouse.
Yeah, it's going to be Let's Play Mermaids. So I was a sexy
Yes.
siren.
Oh yes, that was fun.
Let's play mermaid.
I hate that I could
love
not
it.
make it. I had a show that night myself, and I wanted to see the show, but soon. So, how did you get started in drag?
So I started by watching RuPaul's Drag Race. I feel like every new wave queen has.
Yeah.
But then I discovered Dragula and I was like, oh wait, I can play in organs.
Yes.
I can do fun stuff.
Yes.
And so I've learned the craft of being a little bit more spooky
Yes.
and pretty at the same time.
Of course. I love it. I love watching Dragula. I have not watched all the seasons, but it was shocking the first time, but I'm already a weirdo, so it was shocking that was available to actually see.
Yeah.
Oh, people are doing the people,
Especially on television. Because
Yeah.
I've been exposed to spooky fucking drag for years.
Yeah.
I started with Spooky Queens. Those are my babies. But yeah, I just doesn't make.
Yeah.
I forgot where this was going. Honestly, sorry.
Too much gardening.
No, well, yes,
Yes.
this is true. Okay, no, I remember. Okay, so, but I'm now now I enjoy that it's being like more impactful.
Yes. Yeah.
And more like, here, we're not fucking going, because we're not.
No.
You know what I mean? But I love spooky drag. Like it's everything.
Yeah, not everybody wants to be like that Barbie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what it feels like. I don't, because glamour is not the word. You can absolutely be a spooky bitch and glamorous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a very Barbie look, and there's nothing wrong with it. I love it just as much as the next person, but it's nice that the weirdos also have a place to represent.
Because you gotta have something, just some density. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like have some,
for sure.
Yeah,
a little bit of character. You know, some depth.
Well, and it's like those spooky girls. Like I grew up with like Kim Possible and Shigo was like a massive influence for me because I was like, she's hot and she's goth. Like I want to be her. And I feel like every queer kid recognizes like, you know, horror is like their thing. Like they feel seen in these like monsters and killers. And, you know, some of us grew up wanting to fuck them.
Yes.
I'm not pointing any fingers. And others wanted to grow up and be them. And so that's kind of where I got like the final girl is like, I want to be that bitch at the end of the horror movie that like survived the massacre.
Yeah, because of my delicious body. that monster saw me and went, wait a minute, that one smells good.
All right.
Yeah. It's that pheromone maxing.
I love it. What's your favorite monster?
Oh my God. I love a werewolf. I love well, I also love a bear. Like I love a big bear. So like a werewolf, I'm like, ooh, please.
Yes. Growl at me.
Girl, that was failed attempt. But
Yeah.
see, I don't do the growling. So, you know.
No, I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl.
I want you to chase me and growl at me, but I'm...
Oh no, you caught me. Oh no.
What's your favorite monster, Cherry?
Lots.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Mothman.
That's
Ooh.
It's still a monster.
Okay.
Well, okay, so cryptid, yes, but okay, so monster. So I mean, obviously, Frankenstein's monster,
Okay.
but let me think on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too quick with it. Right
No,
now.
that's okay. I would also have to go with werewolf. Yes, please. I like vampires, but like, why are they like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Please refer to like what was it, our first or second episode that we talked about Dracula?
Oh God,
And like
yeah.
which monster like fuck, marry, kiss, right?
Yeah.
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 And then you were like, what if they weren't like rich and like had a bunch of shit?
Because it's true. What if it was just a vampire that had a gambling problem?
Right.
Like,
Just lived in a single wide.
yeah, like the werewolves. But
shit.
I know where I'm from.
All right, so
Go on, you
no,
what?
I was just, you have
Ow.
the cards.
No.
What are we doing? Give
So
us direction.
tell us the first time you fucked in drag.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Love that first question. Chef's kiss.
So it was actually really fucking funny. So I was 18 and I'll post the pictures later. I'll give evidence of this man had something seriously wrong with him because I looked
Like they do.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I looked crazy. But there was this bar in Greenville that was like, I think it was called Crave or something. But I went out in drag and I had like no wig on. I had a buzz cut at the time. Like I looked crazy with a Nirvana t-shirt. And he was like, oh my God, like I really want to take you back. And I was like, okay, well, like I just need to stop and like take my makeup off. And he was like, no, I like it on. And I was like, oh, I'm going to die tonight. And this man took me back to his place and he had a mattress on the floor.
No.
Like they do.
As they do. And the corner of the sheet was like popped up.
No, that's red flag number 2.
Well, and here's red flag number 3, empty Monster energy drink cans scattered around the bed. And I was
You
like,
already know what that tastes like.
oh, battery acid. Battery acid.
Yeah.
And then like he pulled down his shorts and there was like that papery like boxer material. And I was like, yeah, he's going to claim my soul tonight. Like I'm not making it out of here alive.
No.
Like I'm dying here. But he, you know, topped me within an inch of my life. And then I went back to my dorm and I told my roommate and he was like, girl, you shouldn't tell anybody that. And I was like, but it was good. And he's like, yeah, but mattress on the floor, like that's not good for optics.
Well, you can like change details as you need. It's your narrative.
But also, side note, we've all done dumb shit at 18.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Yeah. You look at me like that.
I don't remember 18. I don't remember 18 a whole lot. I don't know.
I went ham on tattoos like around Halloween 2003. Mm-hmm. And then it was
they were
just downhill
cheaper?
from there. Huh?
Because they were cheaper.
No.
Oh.
I just was a shop rat. That's what I
Wow.
did. That's what I did.
Look, I'd be a ring rat. Don't fuck with me. But, oh, you want to fly me out and take me to AEW? Ooh.
So I want to hear some more sex stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear some more like sexy, like just weird shit. Because, you know.
So kind of on topic, for DL men, as they are the ones that normally hit up trans women the most, in my experience.
For our listeners that do not know what DL stands for, can you explain that?
So those are down low men, and there's a spectrum. So there is like trade, which is like mostly straight presenting, and they're like kind of just wanting like a hookup, and it's like fluid or whatever. But most DL men on Grindr specifically are married and like probably have kids, and they're like, oh, like, you know, I'm just gonna get a little side piece. And so it's just like these men that are kind of on like the underbelly of Grindr.
Okay. So is it a situation where like they're presenting themselves as a married straight person, or
Usually not.
Okay.
In my experience, it's usually like, oh, I'm DL, and it's like, okay, you won't see in the picture, and I have no idea what you look like. But it's like, oh, but by the way, I am married. And it's like not open. And it's like, girl, what are we doing here?
just playing?
Yeah.
Just playing.
Messing around.
Yeah. Breaking hearts and
Holes.
yeah.
Breaking hearts and holes.
So what has your experience been with DL men?
So I've decided to, I'm writing off DL men, but not DL trade. I like trade. So if trade's watching, I will gladly accept it. But those men that are like, oh, like I'm married and she like can't know. I'm like, okay, we're done. That is so like,
No,
you
that's
know,
not okay.
that's 2003. That's like it's old me.
Yeah, that's
You know.
Ashley Madison.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I will say, like, my experience with DL men has just been, like, crazy. So, like, this one time, oh, my God. This guy, I was dating him for, like, 3 weeks. And it was so cool because I was, like, 20. And I was like, oh, like, this is the life. Like, I'm really going to, like, live it up. And he invited me to his house. And he bought me lingerie, took me to dinners. And I was like, oh, this is luxurious.
I'm assuming he had a bed frame.
Yes. Okay. He did. From Ashley Furniture Home Store. It was a matching set.
Yes.
And it was a sleigh bed. Not that matters,
Yes.
but it was a sleigh bed.
Yes.
But this man in particular, one night, he called me up and he was like, you should come over. And I was like, okay, obviously I'm going to come over. And so we got some Chinese takeout and we were in the kitchen. And then he started eating my chow mein. And I was like, oh, I like where this is going. And so we start screwing in the kitchen. In the garage, off the kitchen, I just hear like thump, thump, thump. And he had these 2 giant German shepherds. So I was like, oh, the dogs just got into something. And he's like taking me to Pound Town on the kitchen island. And then I hear those thumps again. His wife busted up in the door into the kitchen. And I'm like spread eagle on her kitchen counter. And it's just me and her husband. And I was like, ah, you caught me, girl. My bad.
I'm just going to take my theme.
Yeah. And I was wearing a skirt, possibly this one. We recycle here.
Yeah.
And so my panties were on the ground. And before I could get off the counter and get like my personal effects, she reaches above me because they had those like pots and pans like above the kitchen island.
Yeah.
This bitch came at me with a fucking skillet.
Oh, no.
A 10-inch cast iron skillet.
Oh, my God.
And so I have no panties on. And I'm like running around this woman's house, like just like dick flopping, just like running around, just like, oh my God, like she's going to get me. And she manages to like whack me across the back. And I'm like, oh, bitch, she has intent.
Yeah.
Like she's going to like get me. And so I managed to like get outside and she like chases me. And so I'm like cornered on the porch and I'm like, well, Diva, what do I do? I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And so in my, fat little body, I was like, I should not be jumping over porch railings. But in my head, I was like, I watched Power Rangers as a kid. I can so do this.
It's so easy.
Yeah, I was like, I can so do this. I had gardened that night and everything. I was like, I'm a superhero right now. And I, like,
I'm a fly, baby.
yeah, I said, I'm going to land like a cat. I'm going to land on my feet. I jumped over that railing and my fat ass, I said, boop, and splatted.
Oh, no.
Clean in the pavement. Still not wearing panties, mind you.
Oh, no.
So I'm in these people's bushes. I'm like crawling around, like trying to get out. And this woman is just like trying to kill me. And luckily, like I was able to like run away, and I like got to my car and like sped out of there. And as I was like leaving, I like got a text where he was like, so sorry, like she wasn't supposed to find out. And I'm like, right, she should have been beating your ass.
Right, right. Can we normalize that though? Can we
Right.
stop going after the other party? Like
Right.
you need to be mad about your own household.
Yeah, because you dumb as hell.
Yeah.
That's dumb as hell shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and apparently it was like she was out on business. And that's like when he was like timing these things of like she would go on like a business trip. And it's like, oh,
she knew.
oh,
She knew.
Yeah,
she
it's like-
came home early on purpose.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And meanwhile, like they lived in a neighborhood. It was residential. And so there's like people in like the windows. And I'm just like, no panties, like just flopping around.
what
and
time
I'm like,
was it? Was it like
it was
daylight?
like 8 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
8 p.m. in August. It was like
shit.
dusk.
Yeah. But if it's residential, you know the neighbors are
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
what's
absolutely.
going on? What's
There's kids
Ken doing
outside
over
playing.
there tonight?
Oh, the HOA is going to have a meeting. It's like, okay, we cannot have these fat trans girls running around. Like, we have to cease that. That's crazy.
What
We
is
can't
this?
be having women running outside their house with skills.
like,
Again, it's not good for optics. Like, we cannot do that.
That's wild. I am glad that you came out of that mostly unharmed. Holy shit.
yeah. Yeah.
Do
that.
you perhaps have any tips or safety precautions that you could give other young sluts to help protect themselves?
Oh, absolutely. Always meet in a public place first, I would say. So this guy, that didn't really work because it's like you were still married and like she wasn't supposed to be there. But in the general, it's like meet them in a public place, like go out to dinner first to go get drinks or something. And then don't hook up with anybody you don't know after like 10 p.m. Like that's my like thing where I'm like, if you're going to get a hookup on Grindr, like sometimes you're desperate. I've been there, you know, but it's like once it's like dark and like once it starts like getting to those hours, like the witching hours where it's like they just come out of the woodworks. They're like roaches, you know, they just like, they're like, please, like, you know. And so that's when I'm like, okay, it's time to just like get on Twitter, handle some business and then go to bed
Yeah.
usually.
That's smart. That's smart. When did you start like with Grindr?
So it's like kind of sad, but I was like 16 because I grew up in a rural area. And so like the pickings were very slim. I was the only queer person at my high school, like up until I graduated. And my graduating class was like 100 people.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I come from a town of like 300.
Okay.
And so I was like 16 on Grindr and like, you know, I was like hooking up with guys in hotels like on Easter weekend. So I was like, my tomb was filled on Friday and then it was empty on Sunday.
Hell
And
yes.
it was sad. I missed him.
Yeah.
So Thomas, if you're watching, call me. I miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually don't, because like that was kind of illegal. So like maybe don't call me. I actually don't want to be associated with you.
Fuck you, Thomas.
Yeah, in hindsight, I'm like, ooh, maybe that was.
Actually, just kidding.
Look,
Actually, just
let's
kidding.
be honest. At that age, I think we've all done some questionable things with people of a questionable age.
Yeah. Yep. To be fair, he was only like 32.
Yeah.
It's just double my age. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
What is over a decade?
Yeah.
Who's counting?
He had a hotel.
Yeah. He had Hotel Mini.
Yeah.
I didn't. I had a 2008 Acura that I was driving. I mean,
Yes, I love it. So, Grindr is something that I know about, but it's not something that I'm on. I feel like for very obvious reasons, but maybe I'm wrong. What's Grindr like? What's that? Because I was on Tinder for like less than 24 hours, got overwhelmed by men, and was like,
oh yeah, no. Grindr, I would say, is like a hellscape.
okay,
Truly. No,
sounds fun.
I'm just kidding. But Grindr, if you want to sponsor me, I'm a great person for the brand. I love Grindr for like what it is, and so I feel like Grindr is not like where you're meeting the love of your life.
Okay.
in Western North Carolina. I feel like you're just that's not where you're gonna meet Mr. Right. But it's like great for what it is. So like if you're just wanting like a friends with benefits or like a hookup buddy or like something to kind of like just kind of get you to the next I guess like phase of your life, love Grindr. It's great. But Grindr is like those people where it's like torsos and like headless profile pictures and it's like, what are we doing? Let's get some face pictures. Like I want to know what you look like.
Yeah. Have you been on FetLife?
I have not.
Okay.
But I've heard of it.
Okay. It's also
scared.
trash. But, but I like that's where I'm at. Not I mean, I'm not on there actively looking for people, but like that's where my hook up kind of culture is, because it ain't Tinder.
No.
It ain't
not
Tinder. It ain't Tinder. Did you ever Tinder?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Yeah, what was that like?
It was
Tinder?
hellscape. I mean, like Tinder's just
Not
garbage.
very Tinder.
Like, no, not at all. Like, just not a fan. Like, I met my boyfriend before, Justin, on Tinder, and he turned out to be kind of a nightmare. But you know, like most of the people that you kind of meet on the fucking internet. But
Yeah.
no, I'm glad I'm not on any app. I'm just on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just
gross
I'm good.
enough.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, like
I got nasty messages enough. It's fine.
no, I'm good.
I don't know. Grindr has almost convinced me to like turn completely to women. I'm like, I just need to be a lesbian at this point.
Honestly, yeah.
Well, and speaking of lesbians, let me tell you. So,
Do you want a scissor?
can we? Well, I mean, I don't know if scissoring would work,
I'll find a way.
but we can make it work. We can make it happen. Absolutely.
I like puzzles.
Yeah. I'm sure you're like really good at this puzzle. It's something I think you have a lot of
think so.
experience with. But it's like the first night I met you, just I have to tell you because I have you trapped. So you like can't run away when I tell you this. So you can't like be weird. But the first night I met you was doing Burlesque Con back in July, and you did a fire swallowing number. And Diva, when I tell you, I went home that night and I laid in my bed and I was like, I need to know everything about this woman. So I stalked you on Instagram. And then I went to sleep, and in my dream, girl, you came to me and you topped me so fiercely.
Ooh.
Tell me more.
It was crazy. So like I'm in this like dreamscape and this beautiful woman comes up to me. You had nipple rings and like pasties on fire that you were twirling.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you were like, you know what? Bend over. And I said, yes, ma'am. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, this feels wrong. I've known her for 24 hours. What is my brain on?
I fucking love that.
I love
You just
it.
have that effect on people.
That's going to
Yeah.
be a core memory for me now. Thank
Yes.
you. I have always identified as a bottom because I just want that man to top me. Just Daddy Gusher, just throw me around, tell me what to do. Yes, sir, let's go.
Yeah.
And being in a relationship with a woman, who's also a bottom, and it's like, well, something's got to give, right?
No decisions are made.
No decisions are being made. So like I'm choosing to like dive into those like switch tendencies and be like, I don't know.
Taking over.
Get
Being
on
a
your
little
knees.
more dominant.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And it does things to my body, and I'm like, oh, oh, she listened. Now what? Yeah, so I there's something about topping like femme presenting people that just makes my body tingle. The thought of topping a masculine presenting person does not. Like, I want them to top me.
Yeah.
And that's probably some like woman trauma
Yeah.
that I'm not going to work out because I can recognize
Yeah.
that that's what it is, and that's what makes my pussy wet.
Yeah. Period. That's like with me, like with women, I'm like, I am always attracted to like just dominant energies. And I think that's why you came to me in my dream. Cause like, I was like, this woman is like swallowing fire. Like she topped me with her eyes in the alley of hells. I'm like, I'm in this like hot summer heat. I'm like sweating and I'm like, oh my God, wait. I'm like, oh. Like, what is happening?
That day was very hot.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a hellscape.
The very first time I ever did burlesque, it was actually like a burlesque thing, so I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. But when I got off stage, one of the first things that people said to me went, your face. And I was like, my face. face. And they're like, your face got it. And I was like, does it? What does that mean? And I like, that's something that keeps coming up is like, I look at people and you gonna look at me, I'm gonna fuck you.
Eye contact is key.
Yeah. Especially when you have like blue eyes too. Like both of you have like very piercing eyes.
Yes.
And it's like you're on stage and you're like, let's make like eye contact.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. Like my lashes, like you can't tell if my eyes are open or not. Like I'm just
What? Your eyes are beautiful. What are you talking about?
I just have these like bitchy like little eyebrows.
All right. So the first time I ever took a makeup class was from a stripper. The second time I ever took a makeup class was from Delighted to Be Here. At the time, she was still going by Roxy, but she taught a makeup class to some of us burlesque performers, and she looked at me and she went, baby, you got little eyes. And I'm like, I know. I'm sorry. Baby, you got little eyes. No, I don't know. Just got little eyes. I put makeup on them and they get smaller.
You just gotta accommodate for it, you know?
Yeah, it's fine. Just look at my lips.
Yeah.
La, la, la.
Which ones?
Anyone's. They're both juicy. Neither one of them are fitting in anything. Like,
No.
gosh.
That's how I feel like with getting in drag, like tucking. I'm like, girl, you get right or left.
Yeah.
And it's not my fault. If you see it's something, sorry.
Yeah.
If you see something, say something, but they're there.
Tip me.
Yeah, give me a 5.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
EBT
you're
card.
welcome. Something.
Your credit card.
Yeah. So, when did you discover your transition and that you were transitioning into a woman?
Yeah, so I grew up very religious because I grew up in like kind of eastern North Carolina in the middle of nowhere. And so when I got to college, I was like, oh, I can experiment. I can put on a dress. Like I can experiment with gender. And so I did the classic thing where I was like, oh, I'm non-binary. I'm above gender. Gender is dead. I am an alien. I'm whatever. And then I like just started dressing in like normal girl clothes. And I was like, oh, I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
Just a girl.
Just a girl.
And then during the COVID pandemic, I like was home alone with my conservative family. And I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to get out to survive. And then after that, I was like, no, I'm fully transitioning. I'm full sending it. And then I have been living openly trans since like 2020, like the fall of 2020.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for
Yes,
being
thank
here.
you. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
How has transitioning changed or morphed your sexual preferences?
Ooh, good point. Good point. Because growing up, I was very much like bottom only because I thought that was like the only option. Because a lot of like the media is like always like trans women are like submissive, and it's like you fall into this natural like role of like, well, woman, submit, whatever. So once I like removed myself from like that like patriarchy, I guess, and from the misogyny of sexuality, I was like, oh my God, like I can top too. I was like, wait, wait, this is fun. And so recently, like in the past like 2 months, I've been kind of experimenting with like being the more dominant one in the room.
Yes.
It's like very like femme top. It's like I have full acrylics and I'm like, give me that hole. Come here, sis. Like, but it's fun.
I love it. Do you remember your first topping experience?
It was horrible.
Oh, no.
It was so horrible.
Wait, let me get my pen and take notes. Tell me more.
Yeah, it was awful. But God bless that woman. She was going through it, me being the woman. But she like just tried her best. And that's what matters. Because I was like 20 and I was like, okay, I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
And Diva, I got into that role and I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like even a little bit. I was like, I'm going to try to spin on it. I'm going to try to like do something. And it was just like a non-starter.
Yes.
And like the guy was just not into it. Because he's like, you clearly don't know what's going on. And he literally was like, lay down.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, fine.
And that's what I wanted the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. And he was like, you don't need to market yourself until you know what you're doing.
So at Burlesque Con, Norlisi went to go put my heels on me. And I immediately was like, oh my God, no, I haven't had a pedicure. Don't look at my toes. And she went, but I'm gay. And I was like, I can't. You can't look at my toes right now. And I don't remember who else was beside us, but they were like, oh, bi panic. And I was like, no, top panic. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this moment.
You're like, what do you mean to respond? Put them in your mouth.
Oh.
No, I'm not a fan of of that.
No. I don't want them in my mouth per se.
No,
but
and
if
I don't.
that's what you want in your mouth, okay.
I'll
wiggle them around.
It's a sensory issue thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes
I'm not big
sense.
on feet either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not high on my list.
No. There was the
Yeah, no.
Ugh.
Good.
I would like to have a conversation with someone who does consider themselves a foot fetishist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
By the way, not when I said ew, like I'm not yucking anybody's yum, but just not my preference.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Because we don't judge you.
Yeah, we don't judge.
I
we
do.
don't judge. Do your thing.
Just kidding.
Do your thing, but don't do. I'm good. Like,
Yeah, you don't do that with me.
thanks.
Yeah.
My feet are off limits.
Yes.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I want you to pull a question. You can pick any stack.
Let's see. So, question is, you step onto a crowded bus and you find the seat you're switching in has strong vibrations which you are sexually aroused. Would you be most likely to A, stand up immediately, B, try not getting aroused by thinking gross thoughts, sit back and enjoy the ride, or mark the seat with an X and buy a bus pass, or ask a stranger to trade seats with you?
I'm just going to sit there and enjoy that ride.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
And feel the vibrations.
Yeah.
It's like sitting on a washing machine,
Yeah.
like halfway through the cycle, you're just like, I'm just going to ride it out.
Yeah.
Just going to sit here.
Just lean a little bit forward.
I mean, I'm definitely not like I'm not marking the seat.
No. I
Like-
don't want to keep. I'm not going to always get that bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, I don't want other people just to like discover it. That's like secret. I want to gatekeep it a little bit.
maybe
Yeah.
that's why there's an X on it.
This
so
is
people are
my
like, oh, you
spot.
can't sit there.
Yeah.
So when you sit there, they're like, the forbidden seat.
It's like finding a jet in the hot tub.
Yeah, what's that like?
And what's it like? You just find a good jet and just kind of like, oh, okay.
I'm just going to sit here for a sec and just
Yeah,
enjoy
just-
this.
yeah.
It's like when I was a kid, I've always been a bottom. I don't know like who I'm trying to convince otherwise, but when I was little, I like used to get in the pool and I would like shimmy like up to like a water jet and not realize like forceful water
Yeah.
and your butt makes an enema.
Yeah.
And so I'm like 12, like running out of the pool, like just freaking out because I'm like, I just gave myself a chlorine enema.
Ooh, no.
Very yucky, very, very yucky.
Oh my gosh. Well, tell us, do you have any shows coming up? Where can people find you?
I do. I'm going to be doing Halloween at Monstercade. So we're going to be doing some really fun stuff. I think it's going to be Rocky Horror themed.
Yeah.
And Repo, the genetic opera.
I love
So if you like organ failure and being a Transylvanian, I think it'll be super fun.
Yes.
I am down.
That sounds fun. I have performed at Monstercade once, and it's a phenomenal venue.
So
I
fun.
walked in and I went, oh, home.
I have a feeling I probably did years ago, but I probably don't remember it. Like, this was the before times.
Yeah. Do you have any shows coming up in October, Cherry?
I do. I have a few, actually.
What you
Actually, no, just 2 currently. But the 12th is going to be a flock and roll at the Milestone. So that's going to be fun. I get to be a part of that. Very excited about that. I've been dying to work with them. And then
Who's the production?
the Flamingo Revue.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited to get up in there and show
At the Milestone, too.
So I love performing at the Milestone.
Yes.
It's definitely one of my favorite
I
venues.
love it.
And then the 26th, we have our show at Breathe Cocktail Lounge. Our tickets are on sale.
That's by Camel City Burlesque.
Yep.
We are currently in the process of bouncing around some ideas for a very spiky act.
Pointy,
Pointy.
I guess. We're definitely going to duet.
We're going to do it.
We're going to duet.
Are we going to rub girl nubs?
Oh, we might.
Ooh.
That's the wrong hand. That one says rude. This one says girl.
I like that I discovered this morning while taking pictures of my pussy. Despite the fact I look at my hand all the time, I was looking at the pictures of my pussy and I'm like, man, my hand says move, girl.
Yeah.
Move, girl.
Get
Move.
out the way.
And that one's just good. Just good.
Good.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here with us today.
Yeah. What about you? What are you doing in October? Is the 26th the only one you're doing?
It is. That is the only one I'm doing. However, Ophelia and Celia and Phoebe Nix will be doing Burlesque 3000 on October 5th.
And we'll be there screaming in the audience like we did last time.
Yes.
We're going to do it.
That's at Blumenthal.
Yep.
Tickets are on sale. If you have not been to a Burlesque 3000 show, let me tell you what, you're missing out. Because the producer of that show does a really good job of like curating that it's not just burlesque, it's dance, movement, art, but also variety.
Yeah.
And there's a jazz band and they play little clips that are on theme. So you can't be doing that, Daddy Gusher, over there fucking flexing. Stop it. Oh my gosh.
I do want to have a side note. Eddie Izzard she's going to be at I think the Knights Blumenthal, whatever. But she's my favorite comedian.
Yes.
She'll be there. I'm very excited. I got really good tickets, so I'm very excited. It's October 19th. So if anybody else wants to go, you can check it out.
Come take a picture with a cherry.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if you guys would like to email us any questions, you can email us at askaslut42069@gmail.com. We have gotten our first question to the email. It was about a taboo-ish kink, very specifically about belly buttons. So I would love to quite literally dive into that and have that conversation. So if anyone else has any...
Right now?
No, not right now.
Damn.
I was getting excited.
Yeah, I've got stories.
If oh hell yeah. Okay. So if anybody else has any like taboo-ish type of kinks that you would like to share or have questions about or get opinions on, I don't know, email us askaslut42069@gmail.com. And you can send us prezzies at P.O. Box 69, Concord, North Carolina, 28026. And always remember, be loud.
Be proud.
Be a slut.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Slut Life Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a rating or review in our podcast to share the love. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss out on what we have next. Follow our Instagram at SlutLifePod to keep up with all the fun. And always remember, be loud, be proud, be a slut.